This is John Winters of Business Today. We're here in the studio today with Valcor Business Debt Mediation Service. David Sussman, the president of Valcor, and Brent Kahlen, executive director of Valcor. Hello, David.
Hello, John.
Now, what does Valcor do?
Well, Valcor is a business debt mediation services business. We work with individual companies throughout North America who are suffering short cash flow problems to the point where they're unable to meet their obligations to their creditors. And many cases, there are lawsuits pending against the companies, and we're able to come in and mediate those debt disputes and reorganize the debt so that the company can go on and continue doing what it does best, which is providing its service or product to the marketplace.
Boy, that sounds quite complicated. How long have you been doing this?
Well, we started doing it in 1993, and we've, through Brent as well, who's been working directly with us and provided hundreds, if not thousands, of companies the relief, which is what is the net result that comes with this service.
Yeah, I should say we're also here with Brent Kahlen, who's the executive director of Valcor. How are you doing, Brent?
Doing good.
So you've also been doing this business?
Yes, I've been doing business workouts or turnarounds or negotiations for quite a few years now.
Now, how do you find the businesses that need your help?
Well, there's several ways. I get referrals now from, say, for example, CPAs, bankruptcy attorneys. Oftentimes a business is in trouble, but they're not necessarily quite ready for bankruptcy. I then will have a bankruptcy attorney refer to me that business, and then there's also businesses that I get a hold of because they're at crunch time with their creditors, either about to have a bankruptcy, or not a bankruptcy, but have a lawsuit filed against them because they haven't paid, or they already have had a lawsuit filed and it's because they haven't paid. And if they owe the money, then the next step would be normally to hire an attorney. So let's say they owe $100,000. They hire an attorney, and now they owe $100,000 plus the attorney's fees. Doesn't help out in a situation where they can't pay their debt in the first place.
Well, business must be booming now with the economy in the state it is. I hear all the autos companies, and everybody's got money's not coming in from people that owe them money, that they're not paying other people that they owe. It's a
That's
cycle
exactly
here.
what's going on now. In fact, I'll have to say this is the best business has been in all the years that I've been doing it.
So this is a business that works in a down economy.
In a down economy or even an up economy. I mean, if you think about it, there's even most business owners are great at providing their product or service, but not necessarily so good at running a business. So there are things that happen even when business is good that can go on with a company to where they have cash flow problems.
So if you're a business out there and things are getting a little tight and you need some help negotiating your debt, you could contact Valcor. Do you have a website?
We do. It's valcorusa.com.
So anywhere in the United States, you can deal with the person's and a business's debt situations and help them figure out ways to creatively lower their debt.
That's correct.
Now, you say you've been doing this since 1994. How many people would you say you've helped?
Boy, Brent, between us,
I've worked with hundreds
and hundreds, and
I
maybe
know
thousands.
You've worked with quite a few too, and then we have other affiliates that we've worked with.
Yes, and that's in essence important for us today because we are looking, because of the economy, John, to expand. We have affiliates, as Brent just mentioned, throughout the country as well as in Canada, who are providing the service. They're providing the service in their local communities. They've been trained by Valcor. And so between us and our affiliates, we're probably looking at tens of thousands of cases and companies that have been helped directly because of our services.
So this is a solution that is not bankruptcy. You do not have to declare bankruptcy for your company to renegotiate debts?
That's right. It's a solution that not many business owners are aware of. And when we do connect with a business owner, they're rather elated to see that there is a way that they have to get out of their situation that is probably the most cost-effective way possible, if you think about it. I mean, when a business doesn't have any money or have enough money to pay their creditors, something needs to be settled, either that or the business goes out of business.
Well, now, do they have to pay you a large upfront fee to get this valuable service?
Well, we don't normally charge an upfront fee, and maybe in some cases we might, but usually it's we get paid by the result, and we usually get the results within a couple weeks of the time that we take on a situation with a business.
So the results aren't guaranteed, but you
No,
don't
we
have to
guarantee
pay.
results, but I can tell you this: 95% of the time, we do get those results, and it's within a short period of time.
And you don't pay if there's no results, so what have they got to lose? Why shouldn't everybody do this? I guess it's just a question of
Well,
them
they
finding
should.
out about
It's
it.
just a matter of having them know about it.
Well, I'm glad we could have you on today to talk about this so we can let all these businesses know that Valcor is a great company that's been doing this for 20 years. Tell me the website again.
It's valcorusa.com, and that the different types of problem debts really do cover quite a gamut across the board. We're dealing with problem debts for companies, just debt disputes. Maybe there's workers' compensation premium insurance arrears. There's areas where we have construction issues with, especially here in Southern California, Brent.
And those are the types of things that go on whether it's a good or bad economy. You're going to have problems, disputes, and things of that nature. So that's why this is always a viable business, but I'll have to say, particularly now, because there was a very quick downturn in the economy recently here that, that just caused the cash flow to stop immediately. And that's why so many businesses are in trouble right now.
And we're seeing that nationwide, John. No matter where you are in the country, the entire economy is just tanked. And a lot of businesses were hand to mouth before the economy turned on them, and now all of a sudden they're laying off people, they're cutting people's pay, they're saying to their employees 20% haircut, or otherwise you need to go find another job. We just can't keep the doors open. And with our services, we go in and literally keep that business going, resolve their debt disputes, and we keep people employed and putting food on the tables. It's very emotionally fulfilling for us as well, knowing that we have a direct impact in the community.
Now, you're not attorneys,
No.
but you deal with attorneys and CPAs, and you're able to negotiate with them. I guess you must really be professional to have all that knowledge to deal with that professional finance crowd. How did you learn to do this?
Well, it's something that took quite a bit of years to put together. It was, trial and error type situation initially, and we've gotten to the point now where we know what it takes to make a situation like this move as quickly as possible, because obviously there are times when something has to be done almost immediately. And when I say almost immediately, within the next week or 2 weeks or a month or so. Sometimes a total business workout can take as much as say 6 to 8 months or even up to a year. It's rare that it takes that long, but sometimes it does take that long because that's what's needed for that particular business.
Now, again, I know you can't give any exact figures of what a particular business is going to save on their debt, but overall, on the average, are we talking just a small amount, or are we talking real savings on what they owe?
Well, the average, I guess you would say, it's been anywhere from 30% to 70% of the money that a business owes is what can be saved. The average would be 50 cents on the dollar in, I guess we should say, most cases. But what I'm noticing now is that because of the economy, those settlements are down there in the 20 to 40% range, because that's how far along businesses are in the negative when we are finally getting to them now.
Now, when you say 20% range, that means that they're paying 80% less than what they owe?
That's right.
Oh my gosh, so this could be helpful. Now, also, I guess when you're in that case as a business and maybe a supplier hasn't paid you and now you don't have the money to pay the people that you owe, do you have a way to work it out so they can pay it a little bit at a time, or do they have to come up with a whole chunk of money to use this service?
Again, that's a case-by-case basis with a business, but yes, sometimes it's a lump sum that's paid at that time. Sometimes it's broken into several payments. Sometimes it can be broken down, a settlement for less than what's owed and payments over a year or 2 years or 3 years if it's needed. I'm finding out more of those are being stretched over that period of time now with a settlement, because if you think about it, the only way that business has to go is bankruptcy. In that particular case, there's costs involved in bankruptcy that usually by the time it goes through bankruptcy court, there's no money left for the creditors unless there's maybe a creditor that has possibly
security,
securitized type situation, UCC filing or whatever that might be, but they have that, and they still don't necessarily get all of their money.
Oh yeah, in the Chapter 13s that I see, they pay pennies on the dollar, 40, 30,
right.
50% of what they owe to all of them, and it's spread out over 5 or 6 years, so the creditors really don't get a lot. So that may be a reason why the creditors might take a listen to what you have to offer them.
Well, that's true. And also what's happened is because of the change in the bankruptcy law several years back, I've had bankruptcy attorneys tell me now that it's no longer as easy for a business to go into what's called Chapter 11 reorganization. And in most cases, they're now forced to go completely under, which is a Chapter 7 filing from what I understand.
Right. Well, that's so away, and when they go completely under, and they try to sell the assets, and in this market, what are you going to be able to get?
5 or 10 cents on the dollar for assets.
So the creditors are a little bit motivated to listen to what you're saying, because as you were explaining this, I kept thinking, well, gee, sounds like they just wave a magic wand, and all of a sudden you don't owe as much. But it's not that simple. But there is a motivation for the person who is owed the money to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, it takes a financial analysis of the business, and then it takes a lot of listening to find out, where our client, the business owner, is at, and then to find out where the creditor is at and what they need to make it a viable situation as far as a settlement, and then we figure out what we have to work with and put it together from there. Because remember, in most cases, there are many creditors involved. It's not uncommon to go into a business and find out that they called you with one particular pressing situation, and then to find out they have 50, 60, 70, 80 creditors or more. We've even had businesses with creditors numbering in the hundreds.
And this is for businesses, again, that have a good chance to make money, and they have a good business that's going on for quite a while, but they've run into a temporary problem, and if they can get you to negotiate with their creditors, maybe they can save the business, the creditor gets some, the business client that you have stays in business. That sounds like a win-win deal.
It is. It's a win-win for just about everybody involved. In fact, I can't really think of anybody who it's not a win-win situation for, because a creditor would rather have some money as opposed to no money.
Well, on my own, too, I would pay you to deal with those creditors. I hate when you get those phone calls from lawyers, and you take care of all that, deal directly with their creditors, and they can just sit back there and approve the deal that you finally put together. Is that how easy it is?
Yeah, that's exactly
for them.
How it goes.
Not easy for you.
It's because we know how to do that financial analysis and how to put the proposal together and how to talk to the creditors or the creditors' attorneys or whatever it takes, and then we know how to put together a package for a settlement situation. It's a negotiation process that we have to go through.
Very good. This is John Winters with the Business Today radio program, talking with David Sussman and Brent Kahlen about the Valcor Licensee Training Program. We'll be right back after these words.